When I was reborn, returning to the day of filling out the mate registration form, I decided to write my sister Sophia Harrington's name on the form. I would help her achieve her dreams with Adrian Northgate in this lifetime. Without waiting for Adrian to ask, I gave the wedding dress to my sister ahead of time and placed the ring symbolizing our mate bond into her hands. I did not argue or make a fuss. Instead, I facilitated every opportunity for them to spend time together. When he took my sister to fight in the Southern Territories, I quietly packed everything to attend university in the Northern Grasslands. In my previous life, I devoted myself to caring for our family. Yet, after Adrian was promoted to the Pack's first warrior, he and our son knelt before me, begging me to dissolve our mate bond so that he could fulfill his love for Sophia. Living this life again, I decided not to become mates with Adrian. I wanted to pursue my dreams and live the free life I had always desired. Fill out this mate registration form quickly and submit it, Adrian Northgate said, tapping the table impatiently. I stared at the mate bond registration form. The familiar scene made me feel dizzy and disoriented. In my previous life, I had devoutly written my own name on the application, happily discussing the details of the marking ceremony with Adrian. However, back then, he scolded me harshly. Once we get the mate certificate, we'll be legal mates. The ceremony is just for show. As for marking, that can happen anytime. It doesn't have to be during the ceremony. He was busy planning to hunt a fox pelt for my sister Sophia Harrington, because she mentioned feeling cold when going out in winter. At this moment, he kept glancing at his phone, his expression restless. My fingertips gently traced the smooth paper as I suppressed the bitterness in my heart. If you have something to do, go ahead. I'll finish filling this out and submit it myself. He visibly relaxed, speaking with a rare tone of gentleness. Don't worry, you'll be my legal mate from now on. I'll take responsibility for you. After saying this, he frowned slightly. Stop targeting Sophia all the time and ruining her reputation. You two need to get along, understand? I remained silent. I had tried explaining countless times in my previous life that I had never bullied her, but no one believed me. In his eyes, I was just a jealous, malicious sister who could not tolerate her gentle, kind younger sibling. He did not wait for my answer. After speaking, he hurriedly turned and left. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the grievances accumulated over 2 lifetimes. My mind was filled with everything that happened in my past life. The night Adrian marked me, he used the excuse of caring for my injured sister and never came home. When he went south with the troops to fight, he took only Sophia, claiming she had never seen other packs. Even when our son was born, he did not come back, focusing only on comforting Sophia, who had just lost her mate. I devoted my entire life to our family. Even on my deathbed, my son was still trying to convince me to dissolve the mate bond. Mom, just break the bond with Dad. He loves Aunt Sophia, but has been forcing himself to live with you. He's so pitiful. You should let him go. I lay weakly on the hospital bed, looking at my indifferent mate. He said nothing, standing silently beside our son, agreeing with him. I picked up the pen and slowly wrote Sophia's name in the mate section. Adrian, since you love her so much, let it be as you wish. I submitted the completed form to the City Hall staff and soon received the mate certificate. I was not sad. Instead, I felt an indescribable sense of relief. My sister and I lost our parents in the territorial wars, and Adrian's family adopted us. I was someone who worked quietly without fighting, while my sister knew how to please others. She would sweet-talk everyone constantly. Without doing anything, she could make the entire Northgate family happy. Adrian's mother had long ago decided Sophia would be her daughter-in-law. However, Sophia looked down on Adrian when he was just an ordinary warrior. She used the excuse of not wanting to compete with me to let Adrian mark me instead. She wanted to find a better mate but could not bear to give up the Northgate's affection. Everyone praised her as a good sister who sacrificed her happiness for me. However, in secret, she framed me repeatedly, deliberately hurting herself to make others think I was jealous. I cherished our sisterly bond and gave in every time, thinking that if I showed genuine care, they would eventually see who I really was. Despite this, in my previous life, even until the moment I died, I never received the recognition I deserved. Before leaving, I applied to a university in the Northern Grasslands. After inquiring about the necessary preparations and fees, I felt reassured enough to head back home. Returning to the Northgate mansion, I heard Sophia's pitiful voice as soon as I walked through the door. Adi, you left my sister to come back and keep me company. Won't she be angry? No, Elena listens to me. She would never cause trouble. You get cold hands and feet every winter, and I worry about you being home alone. Sophia smiled shyly, but her voice dropped again. After you and my sister become mates, will you still treat me as well as you do now? Adrian answered decisively. Of course, I'll always be good to you. After a pause, he added, if Elena treats you badly, I'll break our mate bond. I bit my lip hard to keep from crying out. Even reborn, hearing my former mate speak so callously still hurt deeply. Taking a deep breath to suppress my sadness, I pretended not to have heard and walked into the house. Adrian emerged from Sophia's room saying awkwardly, Sophia isn't feeling well. I was just checking on her. In my previous life, I would have started fighting with him immediately. Their excessive intimacy was unacceptable to me. However, this time I just hummed softly in acknowledgement and turned to go back to my room. A flash of surprise crossed Adrian's face, as if he had not expected me to be so calm. Elena, he called out. After a long moment, he spoke hesitantly. If you want, we can have a simple marking ceremony at home instead of going to a hotel. I was somewhat surprised that he would voluntarily suggest this. He must have decided to offer me some compensation after seeing that I was not fighting. I shook my head calmly. There's no need for all that ceremony. Marking can be done anytime. He froze, clearly not expecting me to refuse. Elena, are you still angry that Adi left you to come back and take care of me? Sophia emerged from her room, looking at me pitifully. She was wearing a beautiful dress, the wedding gown I had bought explicitly for the marking ceremony. I had saved up my living expenses for half a year to buy it, and I had never even worn it myself. Seeing my gaze, Sophia explained frantically, I saw this beautiful wedding dress hanging by your bed and couldn't help but try it on. I just forgot to take it off. Elena, you are not angry, are you? Adrian instinctively started to tell me not to be angry. Elena, don't. I interrupted him calmly. It's fine. You look beautiful in it. Keep it. I've never worn it anyway. Under their surprised gazes, I returned to my room and locked the door. I began quietly packing my luggage. Studying at Northern Grassland Werewolf University was my dream. In my previous life, I had given up my education for Adrian, willingly sacrificing everything. Fortunately, it was not too late now. I just wanted to live for myself. I would be able to leave this place in 3 days. Before then, I had to pack everything quickly, as I would never return here again. A knock at the door suddenly broke the silence. After a long while, I reluctantly opened it. Why did it take you so long? Come down for dinner. I had the the cooks make your favorite venison heart? There's no need. I already ate outside. That's impossible. You never spend money on eating out. My heart stung. In the past, I had saved all my living expenses to buy him gifts, but every carefully chosen present had ended up in Sophia's hands. Adrian looked at me with a complex expression, his gaze falling on the luggage I was packing. I am planning to take Sophia to the Southern Territories first. You don't need to pack. I did not stop packing. I am just packing some things. After you leave White Moon Pack, I am moving back to the Harrington residence. After our parents died, Sophia and I had lived with the Northgates. Our original home had been sitting empty all this time. He breathed a sigh of relief. It's not that I don't want you to come to the Southern Territories. It's just that Sophia has never seen the Southern scenery and wants to visit. I'll come back for you in a few months. I nodded absent-mindedly. In my previous life, he never came back for me. Not for 10 whole years. He only returned, heartbroken, after Sophia mated with an alpha from a Southern pack. Adrian stole glances at me, clearly uncomfortable with my silence. You've always said you wanted to take some wedding photos. Let's go take them tomorrow, he said suddenly, breaking the awkward atmosphere. I looked up in surprise, then refused. Forget it. Don't waste the money. I was planning to buy supplies for college tomorrow. I did not have time for such meaningless activities. Adrian frowned. I can afford wedding photos, Elena. You don't need to be so frugal. Just then, Sophia walked in, linking her arm intimately with Adrian's. What are you talking about? Taking photos? I want to take pretty pictures too. Adrian smiled and patted her head. Sure, we'll all go together tomorrow. I wanted to refuse again, but Adrian cut me off firmly. Nothing is more important than taking mate photos. It's decided. Sophia fanned the flames. Elena, you are not refusing just because of me, are you? I did not want to argue, so I reluctantly agreed. Early the next morning, I heard Sophia's cheerful laughter. She was wearing the beautiful wedding dress I had bought, chattering non-stop while leaning against Adrian. Adrian wore a handsome suit, looking down at her with eyes that couldn't hide his gentle adoration. They looked like a perfectly matched couple in love. I turned to look at the calendar. In 2 days, I could completely escape this miserable life. I waited silently by the door. It took them quite a while before they finally came out. Adrian carefully adjusted the wrinkles in Sophia's dress train. I smiled bitterly and looked away. What had made me believe that after becoming mates with Adrian, he would treat me with the same tenderness? This special treatment was reserved only for Sophia. While I was lost in thought, Adrian approached with a red face, holding a ring set with a moonstone. My lieutenant said this symbolizes the mate bond. I bought you one. I stared blankly at the ring. In my previous life, I had never received such a symbolic gift. When Sophia saw the ring, her expression changed. What a big moonstone. It's so beautiful. I want one too. I generously handed the ring to her. If you like it, you can have it. Adrian's face darkened immediately. Don't be ridiculous. That's our mate ring. Sophia snatched the ring and put it on, showing off by wiggling her finger proudly. Adrian looked helpless and could only nod indulgently. He looked at me guiltily. I'll buy you a new one next time. I nodded indifferently. He had never kept a single promise he had made to me, but what did it matter anymore? I no longer cared about any of this. Adrian hired a professional photographer, and we left to take photos at the most scenic spot by the forest edge. Sophia, wearing the wedding dress, took many photos with Adrian. The photographer kept praising how well coordinated they were. I haven't seen such a well-matched couple in a long time, the photographer praised. It was only then that Adrian realized what was happening. He pulled me, dressed in regular clothes, to his side. Sorry, she's actually my mate. Could you please take some mate photos of us? The photographer froze, too embarrassed to even look at me. He raised his camera, but immediately lowered it, his face red. I am sorry, the memory card's full. It was likely the most awkward moment of his career. I consoled him understandingly. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Adrian's expression was grim, but he said nothing. On the way back, he handed me a train ticket. This is a ticket to the Southern Territories. I don't mean to abandon you, it's just that we need to settle in first, then have you join us. The ticket was for 4 days from now, a train journey that took 3 days and 2 nights, and he hadn't even bought a seat. Moreover, each warrior only had one companion slot. Even if I went, I wouldn't have anywhere to stay. I did not ask questions and silently accepted the ticket. Seeing this, Adrian's expression softened. Don't worry, even though you won't be living with me, you are different from Sophia. She's just like my sister, but you are my only mate. I'll treat you well from now on. My heart felt bittersweet. In my previous life, I had never heard him speak such gentle words. Just as I was about to respond, Adrian's face suddenly changed, looking toward the forest with alarm. A large pack of rogue wolves was charging toward us aggressively. They bared their gleaming white fangs, their powerful paws leaving deep holes in the ground. Oh no, the leader is a rogue alpha run, the photographer cried out, grabbing his equipment and fleeing. I was startled. This fierce wolf pack had appeared in my previous life too, but much later. Why were they appearing so early this time? While I was distracted, my foot suddenly stung. Even while fleeing for her life, Sophia had not forgotten to trip me. She ran off screaming for Adrian's help. I fell hard. The rogue wolf pack was already catching up behind me. I could hear their deep growls. I reached out toward Adrian in terror, but in the blink of an eye, Adrian had scooped up Sophia. They escaped the wolves' encirclement in a few swift movements. My heart sank. Just as I opened my mouth to call for help, sharp pain shot through my back. Several rogue wolves surrounded me, tearing and biting. Their razor-sharp claws left deep gashes across my body. The pain made my vision go dark as I desperately screamed Adrian's name. My gaze pierced through the wolf pack and landed on Adrian in the distance. He was holding Sophia, standing in a safe place far from the wolves, completely oblivious to my situation. Sophia was pale with fright, trembling as she buried herself in Adrian's embrace. Adrian looked down at her comfortingly, his eyes full of concern. His entire heart was with Sophia. He did not care about my predicament at all, so this was what he meant by treating me well from now on. I smiled bitterly and completely gave up struggling, allowing the wolf pack to drag me into the forest.